Hello again, this is Dylan from British English Coach, and this is another in a series of videos called the Master Polite English course. So I'm going to talk in this video about the uncertainty principle, which states that when giving your opinion, show some uncertainty. Now, if you seem certain and 100% sure when you speak, maybe you sound as though you're imposing your ideas, your opinions, your knowledge, your intelligence on other people. So, for example, if you say, "This is the best restaurant in town," you're not really giving the other person much of an opportunity to disagree with you, to share their opinion. It sounds very dogmatic, which means that you're saying this is correct and there is no other possibility. So if you want to sound more polite, sometimes it's a good idea to sound a little bit uncertain, unsure, not 100% convinced by your own opinion or your own view. Now, even if you are really sure, you might decide to pretend to show some uncertainty. So let's look at some example phrases we can use. Now, there are lots of uncertainty phrases we use in English. Let's say we're talking about somebody that we both know, but we don't know particularly well. So maybe I could say, "She works in a bank." Now, if I'm 100% sure, that's fine. But if I'm not so sure, if I say she works in a bank, I will sound very confident in my own knowledge. Now, it might be a good idea to modify that to show some uncertainty. For example, "I think she works in a bank." "I believe she works in a bank." "I guess she works in a bank." "I suppose she works in a bank." "I expect she works in a bank." So all these verbs, I think, I believe, I guess, I suppose, I expect, they make you sound a little less certain and probably more polite. Now, if you listen carefully to how I say these verbs, you'll notice that I stress them. I think she works in a bank. And I also extend the verb. I think she works in a bank. And probably also, it's very common to pause a little bit after the verb. I believe she works in a bank. I guess she works in a bank. I suppose she works in a bank. I expect she works in a bank. So if you stress the verb, maybe extend it a little bit, and perhaps pause a little bit after you've said the verb, you'll probably sound a little less certain and more polite. Now, these little uncertainty phrases can come at the beginning, "I think she works in a bank," or at the end, "She works in a bank, I think." "She works in a bank, I believe." "She works in a bank, I guess." "She works in a bank, I suppose." "She works in a bank, I expect." So they can come at the end as well. And sometimes we say something and we sound very confident, and then maybe we realise we want to sound more polite, so we can add those phrases at the end. "It's the best restaurant in town, I think." "It's the best restaurant in town, I believe." "It's the best restaurant in town, I guess." And that means the other person has the opportunity to disagree with us or to maybe express a slightly different view. So you're opening up the conversation, you're sounding less imposing, and you're giving options to the other person. Okay, so I hope that helped, and if you start using these uncertainty phrases more when you want to sound polite, I'm sure you'll see some positive results. Okay, see you in the next video.